Hello everyone, welcome to Hema's Home and Garden in USA. Today I am going to harvest some sweet basil in our garden and go inside and make some pesto out of it. So this is all overgrown right now. So it has already started forming flower buds. So if I let it go, then the sweet basil will become bitter basil. So this is the right time to harvest, and I am going to start harvesting now. I finished harvesting. This is the amount of basil I got. So now we are going inside and start making pesto. Before that, I am going to harvest few beetroots because it has already matured and I don't want to leave it longer. So let's harvest some beetroots and go inside. So I'm going to harvest everything in this pot right now. Look at the size. Oh my God. This is the tiny one and this is the largest one. So beautiful, fresh. Come, let's go inside. Yesterday in my garden tour video, I forgot to mention about few things. Here on my deck, I have 3 more pots. So one I have bitter melon growing, and the other 2 has the sweet potato growing here. Every time I wash my rice and dal, I bring that water and give the plants that water. Rice and dal washed water is given to my plants in the deck, so that any nutrients from that rice water is not wasted. Now we'll go inside. I am not washing this basil because basil has to be dry when making pesto, and moreover, since we are not spraying any chemicals or not using any pesticides or chemical fertilizers, our basil is very clean and fresh. There is no need to wash the basil, it is very fresh. I don't even have Japanese beetle problem in my garden, so the leaves are perfect. I am using as it is. I am just removing the stalks and taking only the tender leaves. have to separate the leaves and stems. So in the meantime, since I am going to make some pesto and try it now, let me boil some water. So let me take some water and boil it. So whenever I make a pesto for one single person, so this is the amount of noodles I use. This is perfectly enough for one person. Unless you eat a lot more or lot less, this is a normal person, this is how much they eat. So this is the measurement for me and my children whenever we make pesto or any spaghetti. So this I am going to add to the boiling water, and now let me finish taking the leaves and stems. This smells so wonderful. So I separated the leaves and the stems. So it's better not to use the stems, even though it is from our garden and it's very fresh. It will make the pesto very fibrous, so I am not using the stems. So every handful like this tightly in my hand. So this I consider 1 cup of basil leaves. So 1, 2, 3. So totally I am considering this as 4 cups of basil leaves. So I think now the water is boiling. Let me add the spaghetti noodles. So when we are making the pesto, so let the noodles boil, so that as soon as we are done here, we can bring the noodles and make some pesto and taste it. Adding some salt. So while the spaghetti noodles are boiling, let me go and bring the food processor and whatever is necessary for making pesto. Traditionally, pesto is made with basil leaves, some garlic, pine nuts, but here I am not using pine nuts because I do not have pine nuts. I am going to use the cashew nuts. So cashew nuts instead of pine nuts, and extra virgin olive oil. But in our family we usually do not like very bland food, so I always make sure to add some green chilies to the pesto, so we get nice salty and spicy pesto. It is not going to be very spicy, it is going to be mild spicy, but it is going to taste amazing. So for this much of, first let me add all the basil leaves and all the ingredients here except the olive oil. I am adding everything into this food processor. So I am adding 4 handfuls of cashew nuts because we have 4 cups of basil leaves. I am adding, this is approximate, you do not have to be like you need 1 cup or 2 cup, just approximately 1, 2, 3, 4. See, when you close it, this is the amount of nuts you are going to add. So, I added 4 cups of cashews and let me add 10 large cloves of garlic. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 cloves of garlic. Maybe you can add 2 more because we are going to eat everything raw, but you won't feel anything raw when you are eating the pesto. That is the specialty of pesto. And I have the green chilies. I am going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For each cup I am adding 2 green chilies. So, this is all approximate measurements. I do not follow the regular traditional pesto recipes because this works for me very well. And now I will add the basil. So, for everything we need salt. So, let me add, this is around a teaspoon. So, one more 2 teaspoons of salt. We can add it later also after checking it. So, I am going to add the olive oil as needed based on how much consistency the pesto paste is. I will stop it then. It's like make your own judgment. Let me scrape everything and then run the food processor again. I think it needs more olive oil because this is too thick in consistency. I am going to add more oil. So, the nuts are little bigger, it needs to be, it has to grind even more. So, let me run it for another few minutes and then our pesto is done. So, do not worry about eating this much of olive oil because we are using extra virgin olive oil which is very healthy for our health. So, this is like eating avocado. So, we are not going to heat this pesto even when we are making it. So, we are going to eat everything in this raw. Only the noodles are going to be the one that is cooked. So, do not worry, it is very healthy stuff to eat. Let me quickly check the taste and add some salt if needed. I think the salt is perfect. We don't need to add any more salt because when we are Making pesto, we add cheese usually. Usually the traditional pesto recipe asks for the Parmesan cheese, but in our family we don't eat Parmesan cheese, we love only the pepper jack cheese. So we always use this one. So this is so yummy. So we are going to use this one. The cheese is usually little salty, so this salt is perfectly enough. Already we added some salt to boil the noodles, so we are not going to be eating any bland thing. So no more salt. The pesto paste is ready. Let me take it out and show you how it looks. Look at this. So after eating today, I am going to store this remaining pesto in the freezer, because it will be for the long time use. We are not going to finish it everything within 10 days or 1 month, because we don't eat pesto every day. We eat pesto when we feel like eating. So the rest I am going to pack it in 1 serving cups and freeze it in our freezer and take it whenever we need. You cannot store it for long time in fridge, because this is extra virgin olive oil. It may go rancid anytime soon. So it's always better to store in the freezer and bring it to the room temperature before using it. Noodles are ready by now, because it has been 10 months since I put it in the boiling water. It has been 10 minutes since we put it in the boiling water. So I am going to filter the noodles and make pesto right away, and we will taste it now. I have to still grate some cheese, but we will do it. I am adding this piping hot just drained spaghetti noodles in this. And so this is a tablespoon of tablespoon. So just for you guys to understand, I am using this one. So I am going to use like 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. This is enough for 1 person. And let me grate some cheese into this. So when you are using cheese, unless you are using the whole block, make sure you are not touching the cheese. Going to grate some cheese. Not too much, just little bit. So I am going to mix this pesto now. You see the amount of cheese I added, it's around the same amount of pesto. So just mixing it together. Since the noodles is already hot, you don't need to heat anything. In case you are making the noodles ahead of time and using the pesto that is stored in the fridge or the freezer, I would suggest you to heat the pan that you are going to mix. Add the noodles to the hot pan. Switch off just the hot pan, add the noodles, cheese and the pesto sauce and mix it. So with the heat of the pan, it will mix thoroughly. So the pesto is mixed wonderfully. Look at this. So the cheese, pesto sauce and the piping hot noodles. We will taste it now. I'll tell you how it is. Trust me, it's extremely delicious. It's perfectly salted, perfect spice. It's wonderful melt in the mouth pesto. Please try it at your home and let me know whether you like it or not. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can watch many of this kind of recipes and garden videos. Thank you all for watching.